Drug Dealers Dreams podcast.
If you tune in to gossip, tune out. Drug Dealers Dream.
A drug dealer's dreams.
Yeah, some of y'all still out here dreaming, man. We done turn this shit to a reality. Know what I mean? We out there getting to it. Y'all niggas just getting in the way, man. Facts.
Drug Dealers Dream, season 3. Another episode. I'm G, Benny. We got a special guest.
Plug lawyer in the building.
Plug lawyer in the building.
It's been a long time coming. It's good to sit down with you.
The plug lawyer, let's give a proper introduction. Tiffany Simmons.
Undefeated.
We haven't had a lawyer on the show yet. No.
Oh. I'm the first to do a lot of shit, so
definitely we're gonna get into that. And with a drug dealer's dream, we have every aspect of the culture, life. We always try to give game, so that's what we're doing now. You know what I mean?
Get some questions answered.
Questions answered. And a lot of stuff y'all don't know. Y'all claim to be in the street or what have you, and you still don't know what to do at a traffic stop. You know what I'm saying? So we gonna talk about it, but ain't nothing to be ashamed of. We come to rap. You know what I mean? So thank you for being a guest. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And letting us into your home office.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta pull up to my trap where I feel safe. You know, home.
Yeah.
Okay, so originally, Miss Plug Lawyer, where you from?
I was born in Grand Rapids, Michigan, home of Floyd Mayweather, home of Marvin Sapp, home of the Barge family. I mean, we create winners.
Okay. I ain't know that.
So yeah, I was born
Only
there.
Floyd Mayweather. That's all I know.
I'm not mad at the Barge family.
I ride the Barge. They
Right.
got high, but they was talented.
Oh yeah, very talented, very talented. So yeah, I grew up Midwest, and I left home at 17. Went to FAMU undergrad. Now, I used to come to Atlanta when I was a kid, so this was like second home for me. And so after graduating FAMU, I did not want to go back to Michigan because, to be honest, it wasn't anything there for me. A lot of people I knew, besides my family, of course, but a lot of people I knew were, dead and going to jail. So Atlanta was second home, and I made this home.
Did you know you wanted to be a lawyer, or you just was going to school?
Nah, shit. You can't waste that lawyer money. Law school is expensive.
No, I mean,
so
you
no.
Went to FAMU knowing you was going. That's what you wanted to
Oh,
be.
no. See, I knew since I was 5 I was gonna be a lawyer.
Okay.
But by the time I got to FAMU, I was doing street shit and I was going to school. I graduated on time, School of Business and Industry. Shout out to FAMU. But no, I wasn't focused on the law at that time. I was just really pretty much living life outside of my family's shadow.
Your family was somewhat successful?
Well, my family was known in Grand Rapids because they were in the hair industry. So, the barber shops, the beauty shops. Everybody knew my mom, my granny, my uncle, my cousins, So
No doubt.
I wanted to kind of get out of that shadow. I mean, everything that I had going on, of course, it was talked about, or they running telling your mama and this and that. And, I knew I was different than my family.
When you say at 5 you knew you was gonna be a lawyer, what is it? What happened? What transpired to give you that kind of insight at that age?
Good question. Well, when I was around that age, I was molested by a family member. And when that incident happened, when our family kind of got together to talk about it, I felt like I was on trial and not the person that did that. So I believe that was like the catalyst for me wanting to speak out for other people who couldn't speak for themselves. And I just knew, from that age. Actually, one of my uncle's girlfriends later in life, she was like, I remember you was like 5, 6 years old, said you was going to be a lawyer. So, I thank God that I continued. And then to kind of progress past that, I was like 15, 16. I was doing a lot of stuff in entertainment myself. I was doing commercials. I was doing theater. Like, my mom had me in a lot of different things. And I knew that I wanted to know the business side of entertainment because I saw so many of us getting in entertainment, but you looking, you broke, you going bankrupt, your money ain't right, you know, you don't have the advisors around you. So at a young age, I mean, I always was around business. My grandmother owned 3 successful hair salons without even having high school education. She didn't get her GED till she was 45. So
I want to talk about that later in the episode.
Okay, we can get to that. So for me, business, entrepreneurship, like my dad's dad, he had a grocery store, Simmons and Sons. So that's like kind of in my blood. So anyway, to kind of, you know, wrap it up is I knew that I wanted to do behind the scenes as well as in front of the scenes, and I knew I could get there because I was smart. I always been smart.
I definitely don't want to brush over the molestation part. If we could talk a little bit.
We can.
I mean, I don't have to know that. You know what it is because it's so much happened with the R. Kelly. There's a lot of stuff going on, right? It's like you always hear about stuff like that, but you never witness it, right? We haven't been a part of that. Right. That is something that happens all the time. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
And a lot of people we like to educate on our show. When you hear rape or molestation is with a family member. Is that correct? Is that, or is it just with an adult? I'm not sure.
It's different terms. For me, I say molestation because it didn't
it's not
to
rape.
be graphic. My hymen wasn't torn, which means that person didn't bust my cherry.
They just touched on you.
It was
inappropriate.
Some stuff that no child should experience. You know, I don't mind talking about it, and I say that because my life could have went totally left. I could have been somewhere, you know, definitely strung out on drugs, definitely somewhere with 5, 6, 7 kids, you know, just not doing anything positive in my life. And I thank God for my story because, like I said, when people look at me, first of all, they damn for sure don't see lawyer. But when I tell them, you know, I'm a lawyer or kind of share some of my story, that inspires a lot of other people. So, you know, I don't shy away from really sharing that because of the fact that there's so many people in my shoes. It's not the man with an ice cream truck saying, come get some ice cream and blah, blah, blah. It's your uncles, it's the daddies, it's the brothers, it's the moms, you know, it's, or it's even mamas. It's a lot of situations. It's a lot of situations where it is people that you trust and people that you love, and that shit fucks with you. It's something that affects your everyday life. Like I even that situation that has affected even relationships that I had, male and female relationships. It tears apart families. So you know. Definitely, we ain't got to brush past that.
That's why I didn't want to. I knew it was that's once he asked you about you want to be a lawyer and that was the incident. That's not something that we could just move to the next subject. So that's why I wanted to touch on.
Yeah.
But,
and you know, it's like a lawyer is a powerful profession, right? Yeah. And so you know, there's like a common theme with most of our guests where something terrible happens, but somehow they find a way to use it to motivate them to do something great. You know what I'm saying? So just shout out to you for not dwelling as a victim, you know what I'm saying, and using being victimized as motivation to never be victimized again.
Thank you. Thank you.
No problem. And it's like, so a lawyer, I feel like a lawyer is a position of control, and maybe you didn't feel like you had any control at that time.
Yeah, I definitely feel like I try to control stuff, and that don't necessarily work in the personal relationships at times. No, it doesn't.
I know.
So you gotta kind of, you know, learn that balance. But
you don't need to put your boyfriends on the stand every day. You don't need to do that.
Nah, I don't put them on. I'm single, you know. I'm single and mingling.
So at a young age, you get through that bad time, right? Is there certain people that you grew up around that inspired you, or like what were your positive influences coming up?
Honestly, everything inspired me. I growing up with my parents, my parents were young. My mom was 17 when she had me. So, you know, there were things that I learned from her that was inspiring. You know, hard work, getting the job done, cooking. You know, those are some things, because some chicks don't know how to cook these days, but
First
those
guest that
are
ever
some,
cooked for us. First guest that ever cooked for us.
Shout out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We definitely got the meals gang.
Right. Sunday dinner around here. But one of I call her a grandmother. She was one of the first black millionaires in Grand Rapids, driving a Porsche. I'm staying the night at her house in a mansion. You know, as a little kid, I'm 12 years old working at her business, along with working at my grandmother's business. So it was a lot of people that inspired me. My grandmother Irene, my granddad, my dad. I got uncles, cousins. I've seen everybody from all walks of life, literally. And so for me, I take the good stuff from each of those individuals, and then like some of the bad stuff that they may have did, I may have said, you know, that's something I don't want to live like.
Right.
So just take it as an example of that. I mean, I got female cousins that was dope girls, like major dope girls, then sat down 10 years plus, ain't told on nobody. I got other cousins in jail for murder or whatever. On top of it, my granddad, he was a minister till the day he died. 90 years old, lived a very good life. My other granddad worked at a factory, lived a very good life, took care of, you know, his kids, was great with me. He was a constant in my life, had not only cars, but had properties, had all sorts of things. So again, for me, I was blessed to see so much different stuff in my life that enabled me to relate to everybody, even how I practice law. Like, I got young clients as well as old clients, black, white, whatever. They all fuck with me.
I think what you're saying is dope, because a lot of people, like, everybody be acting like they just grew up without a chance. You might even see people in your own family who just say, oh man, I like you had it the worst. No, you've been around all this and you ain't soak it up. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes you gotta understand you have to soak it up. You know what I mean? Like I talked to my brother. Obviously, you know, my brother got a life sentence. My little brother, he's 25, right? So he's talking to me. It's not off the subject. It all relates, right?
Yeah.
We're talking about the 21 Savage. He went to jail. All of this stuff. They just found out he had a Glock like in his car, right? Like, so my brother like, man, why? Man, he got all this money, man. Why would he? I wouldn't even have nobody around me like that. Or I wouldn't be carrying. I said, you talking about him or you? Because you ain't have millions of dollars, but you still ain't need to do that.
Right.
Like, sometimes you gotta soak up what you got around you instead of blaming or saying, man, well, I ain't got $1 million or I ain't got. No, you're not starving for no meals. You know what I'm saying? You could be all right. And the fact that you use that, like, some people say, well, I didn't have that. But your granddaddy did. You watch you can do that. It's not unfathomable. You know what I'm saying? So I just say it's a testament to your person. Like sometimes that's to everybody out there. You got to use what you got around you sometimes. And like you said, sometimes people do wrong stuff and you learn, I ain't going to do that. You know what I'm saying? So you still can use all that as motivation. You know what I mean? So to everybody out there, man, like sometimes you see a lot of stuff going on. If your homeboy got a business, that it can happen. You know what I mean? It don't have to be your mother or your father. So
what they say, L's should be lessons, not losses. You know what I'm saying?
And that's what I look at with everything. You know, I talk about the earlier assault. That wasn't the only time I was assaulted and had to deal with a victim type situation. But again, you gotta make that a lesson instead of, you know, looking at it as an L. But
I feel like even in the podcast we've done with the guests, I feel like the Midwest, I feel like a lot of things come out of the Midwest that get slept on a little bit. Like the Midwest isn't as, it doesn't have the notoriety of some places, but I feel like there's a lot of untold stories in the Midwest.
Oh yeah.
Like you think about all the shit that came from Detroit, from Michigan, from all these things, you know, even content coming out now like the movie White Boy Rick and all this, and Detroit was like what, because of the plants that was there, it was like the richest city in like the world for a little while.
Yeah, I mean a lot of people
factory wise,
that I knew,
industrial wise,
worked in the factories, got paid off the factories. Oh yeah.
It's
It's
a lot
going on.
Grand Rapids it be going
And
down.
even today, with everything going on, they try to kind of, I don't know, they just try to minimize the Midwest. I feel like with the Flint, with the watershed and all that, it didn't get the exposure that it should have gotten.
Right.
So did you ever feel like an underdog coming up?
Oh yeah, all day. I still feel like the underdog, and I'm sitting here 10 years in the game as a lawyer. I've never lost a trial, civil or criminal. I feel like that now.
We see a record on your coaster.
Yeah.
It says
Only person
undefeated
with
all trials since 2009. So how many trials since 2009?
I roughly had 1 or 2 trials per year, so I'm not a per se trial attorney, because I know some lawyers that go to trial, 1, 2 times, 3 times a month.
Most people try to force the cop out. You know what I mean?
Well, it's not even necessarily that. Some cases, it's better off a plea deal. On top of, some people just don't have their money. I mean, trial work, it costs money. And everybody not sitting around like Pablo, sitting on money to take it to trial. And then on top of that, some stuff is resolved outside of court as well. So, it just varies. Just because you don't take it to trial don't mean that, you a good or bad attorney. And even with undefeated, in all my trials, that doesn't necessarily, equate to everything. And I say that because every client is not for Simmons Law, and I'm not for every client. There's a certain client base that's for me, that I like to attract to me, and I just leave it at that.
Okay. All right, now listen, we're going to jump around because I see we kind of moving, right?
All right, we
so,
can do that.
So, you go to FAMU.
Yep.
You
HBCU in the building.
That's a fact. So, you go to FAMU, and you said even you want to be a lawyer, but you still was kind of doing street shit. So basically,
no. When I was at FAMU,
okay.
No, when I was at FAMU,
maybe you fucking with street niggas. Yeah.
I'll just be 100. When I got to FAMU, a lot of that was, again, getting out of my family shadow. So being 17, I mean, you still a kid. I'm
rebelling
a kid.
Too.
It wasn't really rebelling. It was just seeing life outside of Michigan. Because again, I'm coming from being well known or known in Michigan to go to FAMU in Florida. That's different. That's a whole different lifestyle. Even though I was in Tallahassee is different from even the bottom, even Miami, even Fort Lauderdale. But being in Tallahassee, I mean, you getting sun, you getting, I was a tomboy. So getting to Florida, that's where my switch up of wearing, girly kind of clothes and all of that. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say I got into too much street shit myself, but I definitely was around it. I went to class and I'm a lawyer, so I ain't gonna say all of that. So I went to class, I graduated on time, School of Business and shit. I definitely got my hustle on. I mean,
not even that. Did you the type of niggas you dealt with, were they businessmen or street businessmen? That's okay.
Well, honestly, my first dude there, it was crazy. He was in entertainment. He was a rapping ass nigga. He was a rapping dude from Miami, and
yeah, go to you.
Man, he did.
All right. Did he have dreads?
No, he
didn't.
No.
Mixtape do numbers.
It kind of did a little bit, but he's not a big artist now, I'll say. But the thing with that is, I'm a young girl. Now, I didn't even start having sex till my senior year. So, I'm green to a lot of stuff. Yeah. So, I'm green to a lot of stuff. I get down there, he didn't ran 3-4 circles around me. But, you learn from the best hoes, I guess.
There's a quote.
Right. You learn from the best hoes. But no, my first dude, he was a rapping dude. After that, I ended up getting serious with my now ex-husband, who was actually in school for engineering, but he did street shit.
He went to prison?
No, he didn't. Okay. No, he didn't go to prison. And I guess the thing that attracted me to him was the fact that he was smart as fuck. Like, smart as fuck. You in school for engineering, on top of, very smart, but, kind of made me comfortable because we was into some of the same things outside of school, I guess.
That's another thing we hear all the time and we've experienced is just intelligence didn't really make a difference whether he was going to get caught up or not.
Right.
You know, because the streets is the game is the game.
Exactly.
It ain't if you gonna get caught is when and how bad it's gonna be. You know
and I ain't gonna lie, it was times I really could have got caught in a lot of shit.
Yeah, I told
for real, and I thank God for covering me because I was around a lot of stuff, but when I was in Florida during my FAMU days, like my attitude was real rude. Like, yeah, I could have been in jail on a lot of stuff. And I thank God that I wasn't. That's all I can say.
No, that's a fact. I tell my son all the time, like, you do wrong, you're going to jail. That's just the way it works. Like people think, oh man, I want to make 6 figures. I want to make 50,000, whatever. Right. It takes a long time to get to that point. It's a lot of bullshit in between that gets to that point. It's ups and downs, it's losses, it's robberies, it's you running after dudes who ran off on you, it's whatever.
Right.
It's not that easy just thinking, oh, if I just keep flipping, I'm going to make it. It's a lot of interchangeable things and miscellaneous things in that process. So
that's the illusion.
Yes, it's an illusion. Like everybody watches Scarface, right? But he killed a lot of people in the meantime, and didn't go to jail.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
And then get killed to himself.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's my movie though.
It's the first transaction, he almost got took out.
Yes, that's a fact. That's a fact. His angel died.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, you have to understand that it is only 2 options. It's death and jail. And hopefully you just don't do a lot of time. You can come and change your life.
And you know what else is real? And I don't know why you split with old boy or whatever, but you lose, even besides death or in jail, the toll it takes on your relationship.
Oh yeah.
Whether it's family members that want better for you, whether it's a significant other, it takes an extreme toll. You know what I'm saying? And that's what people don't understand. Yeah, it might be cool some of the attention you get, but that attention is not worth the relationships that you ruin.
And let me kind of speak on that because, like I said, not only did I have guys that I dated, shoot, the rap nigga went to jail too. So, you know, I've been the girlfriend to people that had, you know, various situations where they went to jail. But I've had family in jail too. And then on the flip side, now I'm the lawyer. So I'm the lawyer where sometimes it's only me and my client. You're right. It ain't the family that's there. It ain't your boys that's there. Right. It's not, sometimes it ain't even your girl that's there. Even to this day, I got people that I write, that I send cards to. I got relatives that I put money on their books. So, you know, me, I guess my loyalty is different, the way my loyalty is set up. And if I'm down for you, I'm going to be down for you. It's people, like I say, I still write to this day. Just got a letter the other day from prison from somebody that actually was a former client that we ended up, me and his family now, we real cool. But, you know, one of the things he said in his letter, he was like, you know, Tiff, I just appreciate you. You know, your cards, your letters or whatever. And that goes a long way. Gotcha. And I guess I just look at how would I feel if I was in their shoes. And that's how I always kind of played a lot of stuff, even though, you know, it kind of bit me in the ass sometimes. But I always try to treat people how I would want to be treated.
So you got empathy in your approach. You got empathy in your approach.
Oh, yeah. Because like I say, I got family in jail for murder.
That's a different experience with a lawyer because a lot of lawyers are just extremely straightforward, extremely blunt. And it might be to the benefit of you. You know what I'm saying? But they're definitely not in there trying to make any type of human connection. They just...
Yeah. Well, I am straightforward. Like, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to bullshit you.
You have to be
I'm going to tell my clients what it is. Because that's just the type of person that I am. And, you know, you only lie when you fear something. And I don't have no fear about nothing. So, you know, I'm going to tell the truth. But I'm also a human being. And like I said, a lot of my clients, even as it relates to me doing entertainment law, I've sat in your shoes before. Because I've been talent on a movie set. I've been talent in a commercial. Or I've you know, all of those sorts of things. So again, I look at my clients like I am you. So yeah, that's kind of where that comes from.
So like after FAMU, right? Where you went to school at?
I went to John Marshall Law School here in Atlanta, but I took a break in between the undergrad and
How
going to
long
law
of a
school.
break were you talking about?
It was probably 4 years.
Okay.
Yeah, 4 years.
What'd you do in the meantime?
Life.
Okay.
Nah, I came here to Atlanta. I was working at 2 of the HBCUs here. And just living. I was with the now ex-husband and, doing our thing.
The engineer.
I'm sorry?
He went to school for engineering.
Oh, he didn't finish. So he's not the engineer.
Okay.
No, he didn't finish.
Okay.
But the boyfriend or ex-husband.
All right.
So yeah, I was just living life, and what ended up happening is the job that I was on, it was a grant funded program, and it ended up ending. And so I'm basically jobless, and I'm like, okay, what I'm gonna do? My goal of leaving Michigan was to not live paycheck to paycheck. Although, I never wanted for a meal, and my mom kept me in nice clothes, all those sorts of things. I saw my family work hard, like just too hard, and I'm like, oh no, this got to be another way. So that was one of my motivations when I left Michigan. So fast forward to that time frame. I'm still looking like, well, damn, I went to college, I graduated. Where my American dream? Right? What's up?
Yep.
And that didn't happen. So my next move was, okay, what's next? Of course, in prayer and just thinking about it and planning and preparation, I said, okay, I want to go to law school. So I applied to law school. I applied probably for like 2 years to different law schools. I didn't get in. So I'm like, okay, what the fuck going on?
Yeah.
So I go home to Michigan to visit some family, and I seen a mentor of mine, and she said, well, what you doing? What you got going on? I said, oh, nothing. I'm doing little business consultations and, just some bullshit, basically. Yeah. And she said, well, what about law school? And, have you looked at John Marshall? And I said, yeah, I looked at it, but it's a private school, and I didn't want any more school loans because I had a little bit of loans from FAMU. Now, I had a couple scholarships and grants, but I still had a couple of loans. And I'm like, I ain't trying to create no more debt. Like, my whole purpose of leaving was to, get money, not create debt. So anyway, she said, well, if John Marshall is going to give you the same degree as these other schools, why don't you check it out? So this true story. I called the school, and I talked to the then director of admissions, Shannon Keefe. I don't know, she's not there anymore, but shout out to her. We're just talking, and I said, well, I'm trying to get in school. What do I need to do to get into law school? And she said, well, you can do the application, but there's a wait list. You can get on, next year's wait list. I'm like, oh, nah, I need to be in school now. Hey, I don't want to do no wait list. And in the midst of the conversation, she said, well, the only way that you can get into school is if the dean lets you in school. And I was like, all right, word. So the next day, I show up to the school. I have my resume, my transcripts, a couple other, items that I thought would be needed. So I go up to the school, and I ask to speak to the dean. So the dean comes out. Now, I'm sitting down, but I'm 5'2". He like 6 foot something. And I was like, hi, Dean Lynn, I'm Tiffany Simmons. I'm 26 years old. I know I'm supposed to be in law school. I was told the only way I could get into school is if you would let me in. So can you review my information and let me know? So he looked, like, what kind of shit is this? But he took my information, and I went home. The next day, it was about 12 something. I'm at the house with my now ex-husband, and I get the call, and he's like, look, we're going to let you in school. Can you be here at 1 o'clock with the seat deposit, $500 seat deposit, and orientation starts at 1. It was like 12 something. Yes, I'm on my way. Yeah. So, of course, I'm thanking God, running around the house, coming up with the money, and I showed up to school. So that's how that happened. I didn't do no wait list. I didn't go through the regular application process. So throughout that, I was like, okay, God, this what the move is.
I'm glad you said that, right? Because with this whole social media era, this whole internet era, right, is that people don't get to be personal with people, right?
It's power.
You trying to get a job? They say go online, fill out the application, right? Mm-hmm. It's different when you show up.
Oh yeah.
They see you. You know what I'm saying? They can touch you. They can hear the passion in your voice, how bad you want it.
Right.
That is something even the kids now today, like, you need to understand too, is that goes a long way.
Oh yeah,
when somebody
I mean,
walks up to you.
These days they think taking a picture is success. Lil Duval just posted something like that, and that's facts. They think, you know, I've seen a lot with, you know, the younger lawyers or the law students. They posting all kind of pictures. They got wigs, they got their makeup done, all that. And I'm not knocking it, because of course I'm trying to look pretty too. But when I was in law school, none of that. It's straight school. You broke. You ain't got money for all of that. Thank God I was with, you know, my then partner, that I didn't have to work through law school like that. You know, of course, I always kept a hustle, but, you know, I was able to focus on being the student. It's not that glitz and glamour. I mean, I was studying for the bar exam. My lights getting cut off. All sorts of shit because I chose to focus in on what was important and what was going to get me to the next level. So you're absolutely right. People want popcorn or microwave success, and that ain't necessarily what it is.
And another point too, right? People stuck on social media. There's nobody doing bad on social media.
Right.
Everybody's doing good. Right. Everybody's balling. Right. That's not realistic. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And that's not being personable. It's everybody goes through everything. You know what I'm saying? There's roller coasters in life. Like, that's why we don't like sugarcoat. I'm glad that you even talked. Oh, my lights getting cut off on it. Nobody will put that on the gram. Yeah. My lights is off today. That doesn't happen. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Who's gonna say that? Right. You know what I mean? It's
I returned that outfit that I posted in.
Yes. Exactly. I was at the club with bottles and I had the tag still on because I returned it the next day because my lights were getting cut off, or I had the eviction notice on my door.
Nobody posts up on my chain today.
One thing about it, when people meet me, they say, damn, you are who you say you are, because they see my social media, and to be honest, I was kind of leery with that. Like, I'm old school like the mob. Come see me. Come talk to me in person. Fuck that phone. Fuck that Instagram. Come see who I am.
But for business in this day and age, you have to have social media.
Yeah. So I have it, but I'm just saying the real me. Definitely. I'm very much. I want to feel your energy and see what you about. You know.
We did the same thing, even with our. We debated about social media because neither one of us had one prior. You know what I mean? But it's only been for a drug dealer's dream because we just come from a different.
And then pictures, I come from no pictures, no evidence.
Our first year of pictures had our head cut off, and our eyes blanked out. That's what we do. We want to do all interviews like
with the blurry face.
With the blurry face, that's what we want to do. But it was like it can't work like that. Yeah. So how do you get the title "The Plugs Lawyer"?
Oh, wow.
And the chain with the plug.
Yeah, let's go.
And the book with
right. The Plugs Lawyer. Honestly, where the fuck did that come from? Well, I can kind of tell you what it kind of means and stand for. The Plugs Lawyer. I mean, that was kind of birthed out of, for me, even growing up. I've dated people in the lifestyle or whatever, been around that, seen it with my own family. And I always said, I don't want the corner boy. If I'm going to be doing this, like, I'm a person, I'm 100% in or out. I'm not a middle kind of person. Yeah. So even if I would have chose to have a negative lifestyle and pursue that, I'm doing it 100% to the grave. So, and that goes for me as the lawyer. I'm doing it 100% to the grave. So for me, the Plugs Lawyer is, why would I want somebody under you? I want to be working with the plug. I want to be working with the boss. Where your boss at? Not y'all. So that's kind of where that title came from, which in turn I wrote a book It's called The Plug's Lawyer. It's a fiction book, and it's kind of loosely based on my life and things that I've seen. But it's a character named Tia. I'm working on the part 2 of The Plug's Lawyer.
Where can they get the Plug's Lawyer book?
Tia/Tiff.
No, just Tia. Just Tia.
We're going to keep the first letter.
No, just Tia. But no, The Plug's Lawyer and my other book called... shit, I lost my train. Law and Family Order, Making the Case for Successful Moms to Be. Both of those books you can get on Amazon. You can get on Barnes & Nobles. I usually have copies because I would sell you all one, but I don't have any copies right now.
All right.
But The Plug's Lawyer is the fiction book. The Law and Family Order or the Law and Family Order book, that one is a nonfiction book. And I did that with 12 other business women who had families. And just a little tidbit on why I did that is because although I've been blessed to be married before, I didn't have children yet. And I want children. I want that family life. And a lot of times people say, well, you can't have success and a family.
Right.
But I mean, you can. You know, a lot of women, successful women do that. I mean, shouts out to Cardi, Beyonce, you know, whatever. So anyway, that's kind of why I participated in that nonfiction book, is because I think a lot of people needed to hear that side of me, because a lot of people see me as so much as the boss or see me as, you know, kind of rough. Yeah. And I'm like, nah, I'm a woman. Yeah. You know, when I'm home, I'm not trying to be the boss. I'm trying to be the lady to my partner. Soft. Yeah.
So where do you find time, obviously, to have your track record as a lawyer? That obviously takes a lot of work. So where do you find time to just randomly write books?
It wasn't random.
Takes a long time.
Honestly, the Plug's Lawyer, I've written a total of 4 books. I have 2 more in the making.
On your own?
Yes.
Okay.
A poetry book
now,
right here.
I see a lot of...
Look, here go the poetry one right here.
In collaboration with...
No, the first book that I actually co-wrote with another author, which that one was called Street Kings 2. And that was with a guy that was a former dope boy that turned into an author, you know, when he was locked up. So that was like my first kind of delve into putting my name out there as an author. From there, I did a That's Law, Create Your Law Business for This Generation. Because at that point, I was in the position where a lot of people were asking me, well, how do you do this with your practice? And, you know, I see you doing that, or mentor me, or, you know, show me this, show me that. And I would give out advice to other young lawyers or even classmates, and it came to a point, I'm like, hold up, the game is to be sold, not to be told. So, you know, I ended up putting that into like a pocket guide. So it's a short read.
Pimp saying coming through.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I know
you know, Metropolitan
I
back in the
know
day.
some pimps,
Stewart
Yeah, I think you never lost that the business influences all around you. I think even though you pursued law, you treat, from looking around and seeing all the branding and the alternative streams of income, I think you're treating law, you never forgot your business roots.
No, not at all. I mean, it's a picture of my grandmother on that, right over there on that shelf. And I used to, the one that had the hair salons. And those are my grandparents, the Simmons up there, the one with the grocery store. But
the only lawyers I could think of that brand themselves crazy are like the accident lawyers.
Well, we not talking about
or
you're a trailblazer. You know what I mean?
I appreciate that, but not like I would ask my granny stuff about business, and she would say, you know, I'm not a lawyer, I don't know. And I said, but granny, we do the same thing. We provide a service. So your opinion and your experience is valuable. So I take from any sort of thing that I can learn from and contribute it to what I'm doing now, because you're right, I am a trailblazer. I'm the first attorney in my family. So it wasn't a lot of people I can ask for advice. So I was very selective, because I'll even admit I had family members saying, well, why don't you go work for the state? Why don't you go get a real job? Why don't you do this and do that? And I'm like, that don't make no sense to me. We come from entrepreneurs. Like, my goal is to create a legacy for my children's children when God blesses me with babies. Yeah. So why would I not have my own?
And even the entrepreneurship is, you're not working for Bethune Law Firm. You saying Simmons Law. This isn't me.
Yeah.
Like, regardless if I'm a lawyer, I'm still starting my own practice.
Yeah,
That
this
shit
is
says
me
a
all
lot.
day, and I'm grateful to be here 10 years later. You know, so yeah, this is all me. This is my name. You know.
So let's get to some career highlights of Simmons Law. Is there like a memorable case or something that you want to touch on that lets you know, damn, I'm really good at what the fuck I'm doing?
I mean, all of my cases have been just I guess a build up to where I am now.
What happened
I
the
think-
first case you won? You went to trial. How'd you feel? What happened? You know what I mean?
Well, I got a case that sticks out. Now, it wasn't a very, I guess, a big case when we look at it. It was a contract dispute. My client had a contract with someone for services and didn't get the services. And of course, you know, that business tried to hide their money and all of that and not pay my client. What stands out for me is the stuff that I had to deal with outside of being a lawyer. Because to be honest, I pray about it and I go in there and God moves. Like, God does his thing through me. Okay. But what stood out with that particular case is my grandfather passed away. I was headed on a flight right after trial to go to Michigan to go bury my granddad. So to have to focus on somebody else's, you know, problem, and you got somebody that was, you know, a patriarch of your family, you know, that I love dearly, pass away, and I gotta, you know, get on a plane in a few hours. Yeah. So for me, that's a case that kind of stood out because I remember before I left, I said, okay, Granddad, I'm doing this for you, you know, because it's one of them things you can't necessarily walk away from. You can't stop. Last year, and I kind of shared this before we started the interview, I took a leave of absence. I was, to kind of get back on the assault thing, I was assaulted by my male roommate. No relation, no anything. We were strictly roommates. I was assaulted in the home that we were in.
Are you in school still?
No, this just happened in 2018. Wow.
Get the fuck out
Yes.
of here. Okay.
So I'm bringing this up to say that was the first time that I took an extended leave of absence from law. Right. So many other things. Like, I've been to the point, and we talked about this earlier, I would work until I worked myself sick. The year before that, within the 2018, I did a book tour for the Plugs Lawyer. And there was one point my publicist had to take me to the hospital because I was sick. And I was sick with bronchitis and didn't even know it. So for Simmons Law, I eat, breathe, shit this for 10 years. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't take a break until that incident happened, the assault happened, where I couldn't just kind of sweep that under the rug and keep moving. I had to really deal with me and what was going on inside of me. So, you know, being a lawyer is not for the faint of heart. It's not something you do just because you want the money. There's been plenty times where I had to keep working even though the client didn't pay, or keep working even if clients weren't calling, or keep working, you know, when you got a case that you don't want to be a part of any longer, but you still got to do the job. So, you know, I commend all of us that are attorneys that are continuing through, especially minority attorneys, because a lot of times we work with less resources, but we get A1 results. And that's just, you know, real. One of my goals is to have economic power. And when I say economic power, that means wealth. That means, you know, where you don't have to join with another larger firm because you got it all in-house.
Right. Damn, we was talking about that kind of early with a lot of stuff like we talk about the culture all the time, right? We got this whole thing going on with Gucci and Prada and the blackface and all this stuff, right? And me and him have conversations all the time because everybody say, "Oh, buy black" or whatever, right?
Shit, they don't buy black for professionals. When it comes to black professionals, people,
that's dope.
people
that's
that
what
look like.
We were just trying
we alley-oop.
Look, I'm ready.
From the free throw line.
I got that ball.
That's a fact.
Look, when it comes, I just posted something about this, and I speak about it. Again, I don't come from lawyers, so, you know, for me, I'm not stuck on that, oh, don't say this because you're a lawyer, or don't be like this, or don't go there. You know, I'm going to say what's real and what's the truth. To be honest, for me being a lawyer, I thought that I was going to be able to really help people that look like me. And I thought that they would understand me and want me as their representation. But a lot of times, that's not necessarily the case. When it comes to buying black, yeah, we say that. Yeah, celebrities say that.
That's a fact.
But they don't buy black professionals.
That is a fact.
Look at, you know, we want to talk about, I'll make it even more relevant. 21 Savage situation.
Yes,
Jay-Z didn't hire a black immigration lawyer to help.
What's it, Alex Ferrell?
Well, we don't need to say no names.
Okay.
Because I know plenty black immigration lawyers that he could have hired.
But he went to white man. At the end of the day, it sounds good. We was talking about this. We was talking about the NFL, and even Jay-Z was mad at Travis Scott for not performing that thing. But you have Rock Nation Sports, who represents Todd Gurley, who's the top running back who played for LA Rams.
Right,
you ain't tell him not to play. Right. You want to get the money from him because you can get him endorsements and you're still benefiting off the NFL. What I'm saying is, I respect Bob Black, but you can't be selective. You know what I'm saying? And Bob Black, I was explaining to him, because he's white. You know what I'm saying? But that doesn't mean Bob Black is racist.
Right.
Bob Black is investing in your community and keeping your community together. The same way the Asians do, the Spanish, they're not racist, but we gonna make sure we good. The Jews are gonna make sure their community is good. That's not racist. That is buy in your own community. Why would you get the money in your own community and spend everywhere else except with the people that you're around?
And
you know what I'm saying? It has nothing to do with race. It just has to do with culture. And you don't have to be white, Asian, Spanish to rock with the culture. Because I go to Chinatown. We used to go to Canal Street all the time in New York and buy wild shit. I wasn't racist toward them. I want a deal. You know what I'm saying? And I hope you can come to my community and get a deal. The problem is it ain't shit over here because we ain't trying to do nothing. You know what I'm saying? And
well, I think that we are doing things. We're doing a lot of things, but it's a matter of, again, us supporting us.
That's what I'm saying. We're not doing anything as far as supporting each other. Like, we're supposed to have our own network of things. Like I watched Killer Mike's Breakfast Club interview. I watched his show, right? And
them my folks. And he does buy black.
That is a fact.
Yes.
What I'm saying is
I'm not his lawyer yet, but that's still my folks.
He said desegregation was one of the worst things.
Oh yeah.
And because we had our own businesses, we had our own gas stations, we had our own grocery stores.
When we had to support ourselves, or only had the option to support ourselves, we had a lot of black millionaires. We had people who were proud to say, my lawyer is black, my dentist is black, my doctor is black. But these days, you know, and I kind of shun myself from going down that road a lot, because if you get caught into, you know, that sort of vibe, you won't attract what's really for you. So I pray about that a lot, because honestly, it's a hard pill to swallow. For example, I buy Plies music, or I listen to Plies music, but I'm hearing you saying your rap, I got 5 lawyers and they all Jew. That's a slap in the face. Like, a lot of what these artists say in their music as it relates to lawyers, of, oh, you know, a Jewish lawyer is better, or a white lawyer is better, or this man lawyer is better. That's a slap in the face for all of those lawyers that listen to your music. No, I'm dead. I'm dead ass, because I listen to this stuff.
Especially if you had to work harder to get to the position.
Oh yeah. So those are things that I look at like, man, I'm your sister. I could be your sister. I could be your woman. Whatever. I look like you. Why would you not want to work with me? Now, I think in my case, you know, a lot of guys that I've ran into in the industry, they'll look at me as, oh, I can't work with her because it's a pretty girl. Let me date her. And that sucks too. Like, let me get my money, bro. Like, we ain't got to go down that path of trying to, you know, date me.
I would imagine. It's tough, because I've probably had 10 lawyers and none of them been black. Let me keep it on it. But most of mine just been on referral. To be honest with you.
Yeah,
but,
and sometimes it is referral.
Yeah.
For example, if you look at Gucci's lawyer, who's the lawyer for Migos, who's the lawyer for Cardi, who's the lawyer for
you
a lot of
referred
people,
to a lot of lawyers.
that's a referral.
Yeah.
That was based off of Gucci's referral. But imagine if Gucci would have pulled, a plug's lawyer up with him.
Yeah.
Like, I guess for me, what kind of bothers me is I say the same things y'all saying in y'all raps. I want to provide for my mom. I want to provide for my family. Like, God bless the dead, but before my grandparents, my grandmothers, both of them passed away, my goal was to pay for their houses and all those sorts of things. Yeah. So
a drug dealer's dream.
Exactly. Like I said, I think in one of the messages, like, I am the drug dealer's dream. Now, part of that, dope boys like smart chicks, but,
That's a fact. That's a fact. That is a fact. It's totally true. I think at the end of the day, everybody's goal is the same. Like we say all the time with a drug dealer's dream. Drug dealer's dream is stay out of prison, take care of your family, and live a prosperous life. You know what I mean? And that's every goal. Like, a lot of people ask us, how do I get on the show? Or do I have to been to jail? Or no, you don't. Everybody has a story. You know what I mean? And everybody's dream is to see that person with the nice house or the car or the thriving business, and that's the drug dealer's dream. Everybody has that goal. In the meantime, it's the stuff that comes in the middle of that send people right or left. Right. You know what I'm saying? So for you to stay strong in that, he went through his trials and tribulations. I went through mine. We take different paths in life, but we all try to end up at the same point.
It's like, and everyone makes mistakes, and if society labels you as something due to your mistakes, that stigma, it doesn't mean that you're gonna fail.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Sometimes you
or even label you with what you do. Right. I'm labeled just as the lawyer, and I write books. One of my books is gonna be a screenplay. I do acting. I've been a background actor in a lot of films that are filmed here in Atlanta. It's so much more to me besides the lawyer. But again, people get caught up in, like you say, the labeling.
Let's talk about Atlanta for a second, right? Because with the Super Bowl just being here and stuff, I saw a lot of people on social media. It is like Atlanta, being in Atlanta, they came to visit or whatever, to party, to hang out, to have a good time. I feel like we've been here so long now. I feel like, and me and Chop talk about this all the time. Chop growing up here, I feel like Atlanta is the most unique and influential city in the world right now. That's what I feel like. And you, like you said, being a trailblazer, do you think that just the energy and the vibe of Atlanta, it adds to your push?
I think it does. Of course, I would have excelled in Michigan. If I would have stayed in Michigan, I probably could have excelled in Florida. I knew I was bigger than Michigan. I knew I was bigger than my hometown and in the, like I say, the shadow of my family. When I was on my leave of absence, kind of dealing with myself, I left Atlanta and I was in Florida, Michigan, and I was in LA. And my last spot was LA. And being in LA, I loved being able to kind of heal and take care of myself from the assault situation. But I realized out there, like, hold up, Atlanta, we make the culture. We make the culture. Like, Atlanta is my home. For me growing up, I lived in a lot of places. So stability was my granny's house. Stability was my aunt's house. God rest her soul as well. So I didn't know stability. I'm running around here just going everywhere. I travel a lot for business. I do a lot of stuff. So, when I got to LA and had that time there to come up with Atlanta is my home, that meant a lot for me. Because again, it was like, if you're not stable, it's hard to kind of really build a solid foundation because you all over the place.
Hey, listen, I wanted to touch on the roommate situation you had, right?
Okay.
The assault. Now, not even going into the assault, it was you had a male roommate, right?
Yep.
How does that even going on in the future, you dealing with like just friends of the opposite sex? You know what I'm saying? Is that hard? Like if you're not dealing with them sexually, because sometimes you might have a dude. He's in the friend zone. Y'all cool. But like with many girls think they got a man in the friend zone. Chris Rock said it best. It's emergency dick in the glass, right? It's like break when it's emergency. It's a fight. But a lot of dudes can't deal with that. Like I don't want to be your friend. Like we're roommates, but I know if I get in the right situation, I can have her. So on and so forth. Is that even for a lot of females who are watching this, because sometimes you think a dude is cool.
Right.
But most of the time, a dude in the friend zone is a dude who tried to holler, but you dated, and y'all actually cool. You know what I'm saying?
A dude will lay in the tall grass for 8 years.
He's gonna lay like a snake.
Yeah, they will.
You know what I'm saying? So how does that
limping.
make you move? Even not even touching on the assault. Is that how do you move in the future with dudes you could be cool with, or is it a possibility, or you say fuck it, if I ain't fucking with you, we ain't cool. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So let me backtrack to that situation. That situation was strictly business. Prior to the roommate situation, we weren't friends. It was strictly a business decision of myself because I wanted to save to purchase a home. So me coming from where I'm paying my rent, office rent, car notes, other people car notes, helping cousins through college, like I am responsible for a lot of things. So for me, it was one of those, okay, Tiff, let's do a humble yourself, get the roommate for a little bit so you can stack your bread and make your next move. So that was my intentions totally going into that.
But you weren't afraid of going with a guy at that point?
No.
That you didn't know?
No. What kind of, I guess, solidified my answer is because someone that was doing some work for me, knew the guy from college. And so they said,
She came with a reference.
well, kind of, sort of. And so they said, well, I know they pay their bills, whatever. Yeah. So I just said, okay, fuck it. Yeah. As long as you pay your bills, we shouldn't have anything to worry about, especially a male. Right. But that wasn't the case. This person who looked good on paper, chemical engineer, all of that, was a crazy person.
How long were you guys roommates?
1 month. The incident that forever changed my life was a month in. And what was so crazy is, like, I didn't have my gun in the house. I carry a gun. My phone wasn't around me, when it first started happening. So for me, it was real crazy because I'm not a person that kind of scared easily. And people kind of know that about me. And then on top of it, what was also crazy was I didn't get justice for myself. So,
It kind of explain that.
I'll just be 100 with people. Getting therapy is a plus. It's a bonus. Right. It's something that if you've been through something, nothing is wrong with getting therapy because I've gotten therapy behind this and other, situations. But as far as not getting justice, I say that because when I finally got to the police, it wasn't treated as I was hurt. Maybe because I came out of the home and I wasn't bloodied or whatever, they didn't take it as seriously. The case, ultimately, I did a criminal warrant against this person myself just to kind of speed up the process because, to kind of take it to the law. The police or the state can charge you with a crime, or a person could take out their own criminal warrant. What ended up happening in my case, while waiting on the police, I also filed my own criminal warrant. With the help of an attorney. Paid a lawyer.
I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah.
So I mean, let me stop you there. A person can file a criminal warrant.
Yeah, you can file your own criminal warrant.
Okay.
Now I ended up hiring a lawyer, which was a friend of mine. What ended up happening is the criminal warrant ended up getting dropped due to something my lawyer did. That was a friend of mine on top of I paid you. So when I say I didn't get justice for myself, after going through all of that, explaining the story, retelling the story so many times, it was emotional. It takes
a toll on
you. Yeah, so it took a toll on me.
That same night you called the police.
No, I called the police. Yeah, right when it happened. It happened in the morning.
And he didn't get arrested?
No. So part of me was upset because, you know, I feel like they just saw a black woman and didn't give a fuck.
Now, on his side, was he saying it was consensual?
No, I don't know what he said on his side. I don't know. But to kind of wrap that up, because that was a whole lot. And
we ain't trying to make you retell stuff.
Yeah, that was a whole lot. Because to be honest, like I say, this is something that happened in the sanctity of my home.
That's different.
So, you know, to have to leave where you thought was your home, and I just moved here, like that messed up my finances. Yeah. And that led to me taking a 6-month leave of absence, which was essentially unpaid. But I thank God that I was in a position where I was okay, where I was able to leave and go be around friends and family and people that I can trust that, you know, made sure I was good. And,
did you do a lot of writing in that time?
I did not. My books and other stuff that I write. Now, I have right here one of my drafts for The Tatted Lawyer. That's my book of poetry. Okay. Now, what I did do was write the poetry stuff. I didn't write any more of my book stuff.
You wrote emotional stuff. So insightful stuff.
Yeah, my poetry, like...
The Plugs Lawyer.
The Tatted
Lawyer.
Yeah.
Why The Tatted Lawyer?
The Coaster Lawyer. The Pillow Lawyer.
Why the Tatted Lawyer came from because I'm tatted up. Like, I got tattoos all over my body, and of course you can't see it right now except for the hand tats. But for me, getting tattoos is therapy for me. I've been through a whole lot of pain, and I guess tattoos for me is a way to put that pain into motion. Because it's painful getting tattoos.
It is.
So
are they meaningful?
Oh yeah. Like all of them mean something. For example, the one on my hand says power, and that's because being a lawyer was me kind of seeking power, and it could possibly subconsciously go back to childhood or whatever. I have 2 hearts on my hand, and the 2 hearts is I got that because I was kind of like, okay, God, I'm ready for new love. So that's 2 hearts. I got a lot of tats. It's one on my wrist that says a African proverb, which basically means patience is good. I'm an impatient person, so I put that on my wrist
as a reminder.
Yes, as a reminder. When the incident happened with the roommate, I got this one that says freedom, and it has birds, because I actually left the law. I mean, I was really wanting to hang it up. Like I said, I didn't come from lawyers. So for me to be a fighter for other people, to be undefeated and all those sorts of things.
You felt betrayed by your own profession?
Oh, yeah. I felt betrayed. I felt left out. Like I just seen a lot of stuff for what it really was, and it messed me up. It really did. It was like, I don't want this no more. I don't want this. So the freedom tattoo was like, okay, I feel free to release and do other things. And then that was a time where I was, praying like, okay, God, what else do you want me to do? And then that's when I look back at family is important to me and my family. And I'm not a parent yet. I don't have kids yet. And that was something that kind of, bothered me even up until now. My last grandparent passed away. She was blessed to see 20-something grandkids, great grandkids, but she never seen me with my own kids. And that kind of fucked me up. Because I'm like, shoot, I want some
Let's talk about
kids.
it. What do you think the problem is? Why you're not meeting the right person?
Well, I'm not gonna say not meeting the right person, because you go through different things. You meet all sorts of people until you meet the one. Of course, me and my ex-husband, we was practicing. Shoot, I like sex, but we
were
didn't.
You going to like fertility places to see?
No, we didn't do anything like that. We just didn't get pregnant. But I say now, now I'm single. I'm not, in a committed relationship.
Plug lawyer on deck.
Plug lawyer. She's on Christian Mingle right now.
Match.com.
Let her lie to
Tinder.
Yeah. Swipe right if you want.
Nah, if you a real nigga, just see me in the streets. I don't do that. I don't do no Tinder. I don't do Christian Mingle.
Alright, so what's
So right now, you know,
what's
it's a
dating
matter
like in Atlanta for a successful young woman like you?
I don't know. Like the last time I was in love, honestly, that was a person that I did business with. Like we were in the midst of doing a business transaction, and a couple weeks later, he hit me up like, "Yo, can I take you out?" And honestly, that was the last time I was in love with somebody. And I think one of the reasons why I fell in love with him is because he was very different than what I experienced. I haven't experienced where, you know, I'm kind of, you know, supporting my guy or motivating him or this, that, and the third. With this dude, I was always motivated by him. Like he was more driven than me. And I think dating now, it's hard because I've done so much. I've traveled worldwide. I mean, I done been in helicopters, private jets, all that sorts of shit. So the average, like to be honest with a particular person I used to date, it's like when you date a motherfucking puffy type nigga, and then you got the UPS man want to take you out. And it's like, no, I love UPS men, but I'm just saying it's different. To this shit. It's different, right. So to be honest, for me, dating in Atlanta is it's different because of that. Like you got a lot of guys that are just 9-to-5 guys, and they don't understand my lifestyle. They don't understand my life, and again, they just fucking boring. Like for real, it's some boring dudes. Like, and then
so you can talk about it because we talking to women who are in Atlanta. Like, guys get the other end of this aspect.
Plus, you guys are outnumbered. You fighting the numbers.
I mean, I don't even attest to that. You know how some people say, "Oh, it's the gays, it's the this, or statistics." Yeah. If I was to look at statistics, I wouldn't be here as a lawyer. I would have been a single, you know, teenage mama like my mom. Yeah. If I would have looked at statistics. So I never go with statistics, but for me, like I say, the type of guy that, you know, I'll probably end up with and have my twin babies with is definitely going to be a boss like myself, but it's going to have to be somebody that has seen more than me. And, you know, the average dude hadn't seen more than me, unfortunately.
So you're powerful in your profession, but you want to be submissive in your relationship.
Yes. Like I love being the lady.
To be a girl, right?
Yeah, I love to be girl to girl, and it's crazy because like
I
wasn't
get matching
that.
Tattoos.
Nah, but see, go ahead.
We don't have to necessarily get matching tattoos. Nah,
you know,
he can be his own person. Now I've gotten tattoos with a person's name before, but that ain't nothing they got to do.
Yeah, you could cover it up. so, because like a lot of dudes will see her. She like, I'm glad she said that about Atlanta, right? Because a lot of guys here are actually faking, right? You got the scammers, you got dudes who act like I got this, but really spend their rent money in the club, right? So it's that's a fact. So a lot of even them dudes, because they're actually not really living how they acting, are intimidated.
Yeah.
Right. So it's all of this shit, but when we sit down and have a conversation, I have nothing to talk about.
Right, or nothing to offer. Even if you got bread, because again, I've dated millionaires down to no money. Yeah. And even if you got bread, if you don't have nothing to show me or teach me or inspire me, like I'm straight. I'm good, bruh. You know, I'm good on all of that. I got my own bag. I got my own weed. I got my own whatever. Right. You know, I can make myself come. Like, I can do all of that.
So, as long as you got something going on and can teach something, right, experience a lot, the DMs are open. Yeah. DMs are open. Yeah. Shoot. And be emotionally together. I mean.
What
if they write you a poem in the DM? Like, cause you're into poetry. That's lame. What if they DM you a poem?
I don't know. Cause honestly,
let me teach.
It might have to be the right poem.
Yeah.
I see you in a drug dealer's dream. I know what you want.
No, it'll have to be the right poem. Cause let me kind of touch on the tatted lawyer, the poem.
Okay, yeah, let's touch on
it. Took me.
There ain't no way you getting out of here without rapping a poem.
No, I'm gonna read one. It took me years.
I don't know how to snap though, so don't get offended if I don't start snapping at the end. I don't know how. Yeah, she just snapping.
Okay. I don't know how to do that. But no, it took me years to kind of share these, and I say that because
it's a lot of poems.
The poem. Well, It's like it's 52
that's
pages.
Like
but
pages.
That's what I'm saying.
no, it's not. It's not that many.
Okay.
But the reason why it took me a while to kind of, even talk about the poems and the poetry, because honestly, I want the poems to be songs. Like, I want to get into songwriting myself.
Okay.
Because a lot of what I have to say is real shit. And songs, when they're really real and from the heart, that's what touches the masses. So anyway, a lot of with the poems, they're dear to my heart and they're kind of sappy. So I didn't want to share them because I don't like showing, that soft side. But it is what it is. Like,
you're trying to attract the right nigga.
You
can't be trying to be RoboCop. Listen, you gotta go in.
Let me see. Y'all want a nasty one or you want?
You gotta say what you trying to attract.
Yeah, you gotta put that energy. You gotta put that vibe out there.
Damn. Well, I need to go with the nice one.
Yeah.
I was trying to find this one that was so sexy that I actually performed it at Apache once.
Okay.
But this one was
Lawyer by
Right
day,
by Varsity, right? That's down
spitter
to
by
North
night.
Ave.
Going in, bro.
When I used to be in the hole in the bed,
Yeah.
they used to have live at Apache night. They used to have like people on there speaking their little spoken word and stuff. I'd be like,
Shell
damn.
necklace. Could you see the shell necklace in
No,
your
I just
imagination?
saw like possibly Music Soul Child as
Okay.
their most major artist, mainstream performer in there, because he was like neo soul
It come from the music, bro. It's been many open mic nights. Mics don't work.
It should be on like
It's a struggle.
88.5. It was like a
Shout,
station
no?
that wouldn't play if you was in your whip, but if you had the radio where you had to scroll a little bit to catch the station.
Oh, where you got found that sweet spot.
Yeah. So,
damn. Y'all got me looking through. I don't
Everybody
know.
wrote a poem before. There's nothing to be
I used to
ashamed
write
of.
them in
Nah, but I'm
11,
saying, like, what do
Haikus.
y'all want? Do y'all want?
I
Do y'all want the
you
X-rated?
We've
We want
been
the plug
Or y'all
lawyer.
want? No.
We've been
lawyer to
instructed
say-
to let you do what you want
That's
to
a fact.
do.
What
So
you
you
want.
have
I mean,
to
I got a
spit what you
couple. I'm
wanna spit.
a.
Do you
I
want?
got
Do you
a
want to light a
couple.
candle or something?
No.
You ain't got no incense.
You got potpourri.
We
Nah.
do have the clean
Right.
burst Simmons Law.
The
spray.
blood power spray.
That's
Yes.
right.
Keep that shit in your car.
Okay. Gang, gang.
Yes, all day.
Stop you from
Okay,
getting
here
pulled
go
over.
one. Here go one.
Okay.
I'm gonna do one on love because I was trying to find a nasty one about threesomes, but I'm not gonna give y'all that one
1
today.
+ 1 = 3.
DM.
Yeah. No, the one that I did about the threesomes, like that one, that was
Was
a
that
good
from
one.
personal experience?
That was a good one. I plead the fifth
Okay. Okay.
Lawyer talk.
all day. Okay, so here go one about love. Trying to run from what could be love, trusting God while looking at the sun. Is this the real thing or my mind playing tricks on me? Powerful thing, the mind that is. Seeing that coming to America moment come to life. She's done with being one of the homies. God made her a wife, a woman, a lady. Underneath all the toughness, roughness, and fearlessness, life taught her love. So there go one of them.
That's your life in a
dope.
nutshell.
That's
You
dope.
want to be soft,
Yeah.
but on the exterior,
You've
you're
been
hard.
forced.
Like,
I
You've
mean,
been forced
yeah.
to achieve what you
understandable.
achieve.
And
you'll
in
be
the
forced to
industry
tough
you're
it
in,
out.
you gotta be tough, or you will look at it.
Especially when there's people trying to take advantage of your softness.
That's a
Yep.
fact.
Yep. So.
Well, that's dope, man. I can't wait to read The Tatted Lawyer.
Oh, and let me do one more then.
Let's go.
This one is
Hey,
actually
10 more.
This one is called The Tatted Lawyer.
Oh.
It's beauty behind this pain, the pain of distrust, the pain of disloyalty, the pain of dis-ease, looking for ease, looking for love, but the love was inside of me. The love inside of me dying to be free. There is beauty behind this pain, the pain I cover with tattoos and smiles. The pain from the needle creates something beautiful that lasts forever. Just like the pain that one could carry inside unless it's free. Release the pain because the beauty comes after. After you release it, you become free. Free to love, free to fly.
That's dope. You got snap for that one, bro.
Yeah, snap,
Yeah, you got
no.
snap for that one. Thanks. That's dope. That's dope.
Okay.
Y'all gotta catch me later, for the threesome one.
All right. So, what's the next question?
we was talking earlier, right? It was like we got her on the show. We got a lawyer. We was talking about regular shit, right? You get pulled over, right?
Yes. All right.
You're a criminal attorney as well, correct?
Right. Simmons Law, we specialize in business, criminal defense, and entertainment law.
Okay.
So I am known for criminal defense.
As a young person, we were always told the police pull you over, they ask to search you, you say no. I don't want to be searched. You don't have probable cause to search me.
Right.
They give you an ultimatum and they say,
we're going to bring the dog.
We're going to bring the dogs.
Dun, dun.
Or you let us search you right now.
Right. What do you do?
What do you do? Because I'm going to say you can't search me. Right. But and when I tell you that, it's not like they say, hey, sir, have a nice day.
Right.
You go. They still bring the dogs. Right. How is that probable cause?
And they might have you sitting out there.
That's not probable cause. My car doesn't smell like weed. I don't smoke weed personally. My car doesn't smell like weed. Why do they have probable cause to search my car? How can they do that?
Well, the thing is, they're going to say they got probable cause if they say, you know, I smell weed. Even if you're not smoking, they're going to use some sort of incident or, you know, say something like that or your tail light was out, etc. The one thing I want to kind of take away from this or your audience to take away is shut up. Shut the fuck up. If you be quiet and just listen.
I was hoping you got to that point.
Here's on my card.
My lawyer's card said the same thing.
Look, you want to read it to him?
Yeah, I want to say the same thing.
Okay.
Read it.
Yes, my lawyer has advised me if stopped, detained or questioned by the police, detective, or any federal authority to remain silent unless he or she is present. I do not consent to any search of my house, car, or body, nor do I submit to any test without her present. This includes all sobriety tests, i.e. walk and turn, saying the alphabet, one leg, stand, HGN test, breathalyzer test, ETC, etc.
Let me get one of them.
I understand that I must contact my attorney after refusing a test within 10 days of my arrest in order to save my license. Remember to remain calm and courteous. I respect that.
I do too.
I do have a lawyer. His name is Joe Hibachi. He's Egyptian.
Oh, I know Joe. No, I know him.
That's my attorney.
He cool.
He's represented me at least 10 times.
Hey, Joe.
His card said basically the same thing. Shut up.
And the thing is, if you are quiet in these situations, they don't have your statement to use as evidence. There have been plenty of times where my clients have said statements, and of course, it always worked against you. And it's like, okay, how am I supposed to work around this and get you out of this? And you done told them, yeah, I done had 20 drinks. I'm drunk, you know, whatever. Just let them arrest you and call your lawyer. If you need an excellent attorney, call Simmons Law, 404-461-8422.
Listen, that's what I wanted to say, right? A lot of the times when people get arrested, they think they can talk their way out of going to jail.
And you can't.
You can't. You're going to jail anyway. Yes. Let's be clear. Yeah. If it's time to take you to jail, you're going to jail. If they were going to let you go, they're going to let you go anyway. Right. If you get pulled over and you be quiet or what have you, and they were going to let you go, they're going to let you go regardless. Mm-hmm. That's what I want. I'm saying this because I know the answer. It's a rhetorical question. Right. What I'm saying is there's nothing you can do to get you out of that situation.
Nope.
Even if you told you're going to jail, you might get a lesser charge. You're going to jail and just looking like an idiot. Yep. Just especially shut up, because a lot of the times, I'm going to let you go, even with, I asked her that, but I know the answer. Even if you get pulled over and you say, I don't want you to search my car, yes, you're going to say that because that's for the record. Now, if they do search your car and they find whatever, later you can get that dismissed for not having probable cause. I'm saying that because I know. So don't try to talk your way out of, oh, it's my friends, he was here last night. It doesn't matter. You're still going to jail because he's not there and it's in your car. It doesn't matter. Be quiet. You'll be okay.
Just be quiet. If you seen that meme where they say, hold on, buddy, I'll be right back, you know you're going to jail.
You see that second car pull up? Your ass is going to jail. That is a fact.
Just be quiet. That will help you in the long run, just being quiet.
Let me ask you a question, right?
Yes,
because a lawyer told me this, right? He told me that I had a situation And he told me as soon as you say no, I don't want you to search my car, that is probable cause.
Is that true?
That's what the lawyer told me.
That is probable cause for them to search your car?
Because I told him no. When he had said, "Do you mind if I search your car?"
I don't necessarily.
That makes no sense.
That
would make them be like, "Damn, why he don't want me to search your car?"
That's what I'm saying. They were saying that,
but that's not right.
Right.
It may be a reason why that lawyer told you that. I don't necessarily agree with that, but again, every lawyer is different. So something you may ask me, it may be different from Joe. It may be different from that lawyer, but it may be something else. The reason why that lawyer said that was why they said that. Possibly because of the fact that you said no, they may think that you have something in there. Maybe it's the way you
say no or something.
I don't know. But what I will say is you do have a right to say that you don't want your car to be searched. So just basically,
if you get pulled over, just recite the back of your car word for word.
Yes.
Please do.
Recite the back of my car word for word. Okay. Say, call my lawyer or you call me. I've even had clients, to be honest, call me when they... Like, police is there, and they've called, like, Tip, what's blah, blah, blah. Now, I will say, those are my clients that paid that nice retainer that can call me at any, time and say that.
I've definitely done that. The last time I got pulled over, like, like, when you're not doing wrong, it's the best time to get pulled over. I'm talking shit. I'm giving you an attitude.
Right.
See, and the probable cause I think they're trained at when someone's trying to be too, like, he's dirty as fuck.
Yeah.
Because the last time I got pulled over, I'm recording them. Yeah. I'm like, yo, like, I know I'm not in the wrong. Wow. You know what I'm saying?
And then it kind of goes back to knowing your rights. I mean, I'm an attorney. And I remember I'm sitting here, now I was in Roswell. I was leaving my aunt's house going to breakfast. It's probably 11 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday. I pull into,
thumbs up.
I'm out in Roswell. So I pull into a hotel parking lot. Now I'm sitting there trying to get my GPS in order because I'm like, okay, what I'm going to eat right now? Yeah. What I want for brunch or, breakfast. Yeah. And a police officer pulls in behind me and he's like, are you okay? And I said, yeah, I'm fine. I'm just getting directions. Like, I stayed on my phone and, doing what I was doing. And he's like, well, what are you doing here? And I said, sir, I'm parked. I said, I don't want to text and drive because that's illegal. Yeah. And then he went on to, just kind of badgering me. Yeah. And then he went on to say, well, can I search your car? I said, no. And he's like, well, this is a high crime area and this and that. Okay, I am in a parking lot, so I don't have to text and drive. I said, I'm trying to find where I'm going to brunch. So, I bring that story up to say, no matter, even if you're doing the right thing, you could still be pulled over. But when you know your rights, because I could have easily said, oh, I'm scared, search my car. And if he would have found something, that would have been, me going to jail.
Because you could have been dirty. Well, he had no right to search your car.
Right, because all I was doing was parking while I was getting directions to where I was going.
Probable cause.
Right. So, definitely know your rights. But I've also said this as well because I speak a lot of times about police brutality. I've been involved with some civil rights cases myself. For example, one of my clients was Chris Leday. He was the gentleman who uploaded the video of Alton Sterling in Baton Rouge getting murdered by the police. And once my client uploaded that video, the next day, he was arrested at his job. Right. He uploaded the Alton Sterling murder video. And I bring that up because, like I said, I've done, some civil rights related cases. So a lot of times I do tell people, although we do have rights and know your rights, also make it home to your family. Be safe, make it home to your family. It's not a matter of arguing. If you have a police officer that is on some old other, make it home to your family. That's what I do, say as well.
I agree.
I did find that poem, y'all.
We might as well close on the threesome poem.
Oh, gosh. This ain't gonna get me no man. It's gonna get me freaks.
Might get you a man that want to be freaky sometimes.
No, because we ain't down for all this. This is a
mistake.
This is single life, Flo.
No.
College days, experiment.
No, it
This
wasn't
is
college days.
2019.
No, it's not. Actually, to be honest with you all, I haven't
90.
had sex since last year, 2018.
That's dope.
I'm dead ass. Like, I wanted more than just,
It was
January 2nd. Yeah.
No, it's February, but you
No,
know,
I'm
it
dead
ain't been
ass.
long.
It's- no, I'm dead.
December
I'm
31st don't really count.
No. Actually, the last person was the guy that I told y'all about, and I would have had that man kids, but he was on some other. The one that I learned a lot from. Man, now this some game for the fellas.
Okay,
Please,
Meet a
please,
chick.
please,
If you
please.
teach her something, you got meet a chick and teach her something.
Okay.
That's gonna get you farther with the chick instead of trying to buy her something. Like, I can buy my own bags and shoes.
True.
Teach a chick something, help propel her game. I promise you, she gonna fall in
So
love
what
with
happened?
you. What happened?
Yeah, what happened? Why he wasn't the one?
He ain't teacher.
No,
he tried to
he
teach her,
did.
but something happened.
Yeah, a whole lot. I mean, it was some stuff that it was some dishonesty in that. I think that if that guy though came to me correctly on some real shit,
Look in the
I
camera.
would give him.
Look in the camera.
Yeah,
Why I gotta look in the
yeah.
camera?
Tell him.
That nigga ain't watching this.
Camera. He is gonna watch it. He loves you.
Yeah, oh yeah.
No,
Look in the
seriously.
camera.
If you would've
Say,
No.
if you would've came to me.
If you wouldn't have lied.
Yes, I still love you.
No,
That's
seriously,
what
seriously,
you
seriously. On some real talk.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, if he would have came to me on some real shit after, you know, all of what
All
we've
the
been through,
bullshit,
because we've
yeah.
known each other
Yeah.
a good at least 6 years now. If he was to come to me on some real shit, like, look, Tiff, this is what I want you as my wife. I want to, you know, have babies with you, whatever. I would say yeah.
Can I tell you what to say to the camera?
No.
Can
I'm
I tell
not-
you what to say to the
What?
camera? Look in the camera.
You
and
got a
say,
poem in your pocket?
No, I gotta.
Oh.
I gotta say.
Alright.
Look in the camera and say, "I'm not bitter. I'm better."
Say
it.
That's
Oh, I'm
hard.
definitely. Look, baby, I'm not bitter. I'm better.
Yo, it happened. It
Nah,
happened.
but dead ass. Even if it's not for him, I definitely know that I'm better from that situation and moving forward. Like I don't have no animosity
Y'all
because
still cool?
nah,
You don't like the new bitch.
not really. No, it ain't even no new
Did you make
bitch.
a
This nigga right
Did you make
here.
a fake IG page to follow what he's doing?
No.
You watch his stories.
No, that nigga don't even have IG, and I love that about him.
No.
Now, not to say
He
that
has Facebook.
he's on IG, he's on there.
He has a fake
because of his
page?
business. No,
Oh.
his business. What he do for his business. But he don't personally have one, and I love that shit. I don't want no niggas taking more fucking selfies than me. That
Yo,
shit is
it's
too
true.
much.
Look in the camera and say that.
Shut up.
Get off the gram.
Yeah,
You know
get
what
off
I'm
the
saying?
gram and get to the money. But nah, seriously, that situation, if he were to come back really correct, I would probably give him another
Do the right
chance.
thing, bro.
I would.
Do the right
But
thing.
other than that, if it's not for him, then it's something better. And that's how I have to look at it. Cause I gotta
Somebody
make.
for everybody.
Yeah.
So are you sure that you want him to hear the threesome poem?
Yeah. He
Okay.
heard it. I don't
Maybe.
care.
Okay. End it with the threesome.
No,
Oh, my
he
bad.
wasn't.
Yeah.
He wasn't.
Hey, threesome
This
poem.
threesome poem did not
Okay.
happen with anybody.
Okay.
No, I swear to God,
Alright,
it didn't happen with
tell
anybody.
me.
Actually,
Now,
the
it coulda
definition
happened,
of a
but it
threesome
didn't.
is it means it happened with other people.
No,
So
I'm
confused.
dead ass. It
Okay,
didn't.
that's all right. It's a
Sorry.
poem.
It's
Sorry.
a poem.
Sorry.
When you
It's a
write.
poem, bro.
It's
It's a
make
poem, bro.
Right,
It's
right.
fake, it's make believe.
No, it's a poem. I
It's
promise.
a poem.
All right. Damn, you got me not wanting to say it.
No,
dog.
simile.
No, I swear
Let's
to
hear it.
God, it's a poem.
Let's
This
hear it.
did not happen.
Okay.
I was told to fuck y'all.
Okay.
All right. Gotta sip.
This
sip
is
some
real.
drink. All right. Now wait, before I say that, y'all have no kids that watch a drug dealer's dream,
Of
right?
course we
Unless there's grown.
we don't need to.
Oh yeah, that's real.
Yeah, this real. All right, kids, cut out
We
the
got
show.
an advisory.
This ain't for you.
We got an advisory warning.
Yeah,
Yeah,
17 and up, 18 and up,
You good.
21 and up. All right, she licking me while you fucking me. Pussy so wet while I feel an orgasm I've never felt before. Souls tie and true love doesn't die. It only grows stronger and stronger through strokes. And extra she is in our movie of love, but she played her part so well. Pushing the envelope of sexual freedom, pushing the envelope of love. Two souls, but really one. Riding up and down like Yeezy taught me, or maybe Bob Marley who loved the ladies. He flips me over, ass smacking and fulfilling my every desire. Love making, then fucking, then sucking, lasts forever. A bond unbroken for us. Doesn't matter what we do in the bed. Outside of our closed doors, nothing is said.
Snap it up.
Dream.
Snap it up. Snap
Drug
it
dealer's
up.
dream.
For some reason, I just feel like I need to spray this. For some reason. I don't know why. For some reason. Yeah.
Y'all mess.
What's your Instagram?
Yeah. Read the back
Plug
of a
yourself.
card. Yeah, everything. Plug yourself.
All right.
Everything you got going on. All 18 books. All the poems. Everything. The man.
All right. Well,
everything.
Simmons Law, Tiffany Simmons. For the law business, if you want one of the best lawyers ever to do it, follow us on Instagram at official Simmons Law. If you want the plugs lawyer, sometimes I share some of my book stuff or, just more about me. It's the plugs lawyer on Instagram. Our office number is 404-461-8422 if you need a lawyer. My next book that's coming out, like I said, is The Tatted Lawyer. We have The Plugs Lawyer 2 coming out as well. You can get those books on Amazon and Kindle. So go ahead and get those books. Let's make me a bestseller author as well, in addition to a best lawyer.
She's
and
undefeated.
that's where you can find me.
And
Yeah.
do you wear your chain to court?
I don't, but I used to be known as the lawyer that in Jordans, because I used to wear my Jordans to court.
Oh, that's
No, I'm dead ass.
That's hard.
That's the next
You're
book.
trying to be comfortable.
That's the next book.
It started because I fractured my toe. And I was in a boot for a couple of months and then had to go to flat shoes. And then I moved between Fulton City Court, Fulton State Court, which is like a couple of blocks. And so that's where the comfort comes in. By that time, I'm 10 years in the game now. People know that I'm about my business. Besides my shoes, I come in there with a custom, suit. My suits is $1,200 and up. I have my small earrings in, not the hoops. I look
So the lawyer in
very...
J's so you don't get sued instead of Jordans.
Yeah, the lawyer in
that's
J's.
the next
I like
book.
that.
The lawyer in
Yeah,
J's.
yeah.
Lawyer in ones.
look on the pictures. I mean, I'm very professional when I come into
Nah,
court.
definitely. And you've been very professional during this interview.
That's
We
a
thank
fact.
you.
That's
Thanks
a
for
fact.
letting us in
People
your
got to
home.
see your personality.
Thanks for cooking. Thanks for being vulnerable
Yeah.
I'm about
and
to kill
strong
this
at the same
food.
time.
I'm eating up
It's
late
great.
and taking one to go.
Word.
That is a fact. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
Sunday dinner. Let's get it.
Drug
And we
dealer's
got
dream.
our drinks. Yes, drug dealer's dream. I'm happy to be on here because, like I say, what I saw growing up. Like I say, I am a drug dealer's dream. Who didn't want the pretty smart chick?
There you go, Chop. Cut that
Sign
shit
it out.
Dreams.
Yeah, some of y'all still out here dreaming, man. We're gonna turn this shit to a reality. Know what I mean? We out there getting